Hello, and today's video we will be playing stupid Chevreuse teams. And this would be your stupid Chevreuse teams. I ask you to give me ideas about Chevreuse and today we will try them. Is these builds meme teams or very viable teams? Let's find out. Chevreuse. Most of the time I'm not making follow-up videos about the same character, but the other day I was reading comments on my last video about her and I stumbled upon Cyno comments. And first I thought this should not work, yes? But maybe I just narrow-minded and we need to think outside the box. And I'm actually loving stupid and unusual team ideas. And I thought, you know what? Let's try stupid team ideas for Chevreuse. And it will be your stupid ideas. So I've made post on my community tab on YouTube and ask you guys to give me stupid, unusual or non-meta ideas for the Chevreuse. And you guys don't disappoint. So today I will try your best stupid team ideas for Chevreuse and we will try to make them work. Razor. There are always decent amounts of suggestions about Razor, so let's try it. And there is idea. Try Razor Bennet Facial Chevreuse if you have C6 Bennet. Razor can apply Pyro and Electro at the same time, so it's pretty fun. And to do so, first I want to use Thundering Fury. We will be triggering Overloaded so we can decrease our skill cooldown. Another thing, I want to go with the Attack Goblet, because Attack Goblet can increase both Pyro and Electro damage. And because we're missing Electro Pyro Goblet, we will cover this loss with Serpent Spine. And we would get damage percentage from that. And right now for the stats, Razor has almost 1900 attack, unfortunately only 70 elemental mastery, 70, 179 crit damage. And now for the team, we would need, of course, Chevreuse, Bennet for Pyro Infusion, and of course Facial as sub DPS. And I'm actually interested how Facial second Accession passive will work, because Overloaded is Electro related reaction. So probably Facial can add some DPS to the team. And if you don't know, my Facial is C1 and we are missing her Constellation 6 damage. So let's see how this will go. Applying Cryo, using Chevreuse burst, Chevreuse skill, Bennet skill into the burst, Oz, Razor's burst, Razor's skill, 37,000, 16,000 Pyro attack, other Pyro attacks not critting, 44,000 second Razor skill and 23,000 Pyro attack, and we one-cycled the boss. That was actually pretty impressive, I didn't expect that result. Okay, if we look closely, most of our damage came from Electro. So yeah, Electro damage bonus goblet probably would be better. And we're not triggered a lot of Overloaded reactions, so Facial second Accession passive wasn't dealing a lot of damage. But result still was very impressive for the meme team. And I'm even going to try this team against Pyro Abyss Lega Hypostasis. This fight is super uncomfortable to him, because enemy can fly, we can miss with our attacks, and sometimes it moves a lot. But we managed to beat him in 90 seconds, that was very interesting result. Bennet. Some of you was suggesting main DPS Bennet, and I love idea of main DPS Bennet. I was already playing with main DPS Bennet quite for a while, and there was two main suggestions, with Crimson Witch and with Thundering Fury. And first let's start with Crimson Witch. And here is idea, Bennet, Chevreuse, Lisa and Shangling. So let's do it. And let's quickly look at Bennet's build. Of course for artifacts we'll go with Crimson Witch, and the weapon would be Misplitter Reforge. And in Mono Pyro Bennet variation he is playing with his Constellation 4. When his burst is active, we have a lot of cooldown reduction on his skill, with his second Accession passive and with his first Accession passive. So even though charge level 1 has 7.5 seconds cooldown, we can spam it anyway. So let's see how this is going. So using Bennet's burst, and you can release charge level 1 almost immediately, when his sword starting to shine. Let's see. And yeah, this would be our main gameplay. And one thing that I want to mention, in this team I will not snapshot Bennet's buff with Shangling and Liza's burst on purpose, because if we do so, we know who steal all the show. So I'm playing this team wrong on purpose. So let's see at the damage. So starting with applying Electro, Chevreuse burst, skill, now Liza's burst, Goba, Shangling's burst, and finally going to Bennet's burst. One normal attack using charge and 40,000, oh my god. Another charge attack and 40,000 again, and we killed him in 2 charge attack. 2 charge skills, I'm sorry. So as we can see, damage is not problem for this team. And I've tried this team against Lega Hypostasis too. And this fight is super uncomfortable for this team, like for every melee character with short damage window. And I'm still was using rotation without snapshotting Liza's and Shangling's burst. But we managed to beat Lega Hypostasis in 93 seconds. And now for the Thundering Fury Bennet. And here is the idea: Thundering Fury Bennet, Chevreuse, Fischl and Beidou or Shangling. But I want to modify this team. To trigger Thundering Fury passive, we need to trigger reaction with Bennet. And with spamming his skills, he would apply a lot of Pyro. And to get consistency from Thundering Fury activation, we need our opponent always to be affected by Electro. And Beidou's Electro application against single targets is quite low, so I want to go with Lisa instead. And another interesting part, Bennet's skill will always trigger Overload. And this Overload will always trigger Fischl's second accession passive. So in this team I will not snapshot with Lisa's burst, but I will snapshot with Fischl's Oz, because Fischl is a big part of this team's idea. And let's see how this will go. So applying Electro, Chevreuse burst, Chevreuse skill, Lisa's normal attack to trigger Favonium, Lisa's burst, Bennet skill into the burst, so snapshotting with Oz, going to Bennet and starting spam his skills, first skill, second skill, third skill, fourth skill, and fifth skill will be enough. Nice, pretty fun to use this team. And for the Lego Hypostasis run, this team has the same problems like previous one. Melee attacks, short damage window, opponent can mess our rotation, but this time we've got better RNG and fight was more comfortable. And because of that we've managed to beat him under 90 seconds. 87 seconds if you want to know exact number. Dehya. And there was a lot of suggestions about Dehya. Mostly it was about support Dehya, but the most interesting ideas was about Dehya Raiden dual carry. And there is one problem: I don't have Dehya. But we can double down on our stupidness and we will make Dehya at home. So yes, we will utilize Bennet C6 Pyro Infusion and make it our Pyro DPS. And to make it better for artifacts we'll go with Shimenava and with weapon Serpent Spine. And for this team of course we need Bennet, Chevreuse, and I want easy access to Electro, so we will go with Mika. And yes, this team looks extremely stupid and I don't think this will perform well. We lost Chevreuse main utility to decrease Pyro and Electro resistance. But anyways, let's try it. Starting with placing totems. And Chevreuse burst into the skill. Then Bennet skill into the burst. Ushe starting normal attack 16, 18. And now charge attack 20,000, 23,000 plus attack 43,000. But anyways. We are barely finishing the boss. Can we even finish? Yes, we can. Yes, that was bad. I will not try this team in Spiral Abyss. This is unfortunate that I don't have Dehya. I really loved idea about Dehya and Raiden double carry, and I hope I will get Dehya soon. Dori. And I've seen bunch of comments about Dori, especially about overloaded Dori. And first I didn't get idea how this even should work, because Dori has quite bad Electro application. But then I understood. If we combining Dori and Bennet, because Bennet have self-Pyro application and Dori have self-Electro application, we're triggering overloaded on ourselves. And because overloaded deals area damage, it will damage your enemies too. And that was quite interesting, thanks for suggestion, let's try it. I went with Thundering Fury on Dori because I want to trigger as much reaction as I can. For the weapon I went Mailed Flower to increase our elemental mastery, and in the end I have Dori with 670 elemental mastery. And first I wanted to run some tests, and first test that I want to run: can Dori self overloaded trigger Fischl's second accession passive? But unfortunately this is not working and Fischl is doing damage with Oz only. The second test that I ran, how this will perform with two characters with self-Electro application, and this run not good either. Their Electro application was conflicting with each other and sometimes even overtaking Bennet's Pyro application. And both Bennet's and Razor's overloaded damage is not that great. So I think the best way to do it will be by adding a lot of Pyro application with Shangling. With Shangling we can trigger our Thundering Fury more consistently, and because of that we can use Dori's skill more often and trigger even more overloaded reactions. And because overloaded deals Pyro damage, Shangling Constellation 1 can increase Dori's overloaded damage too. And right now my Dori is only Constellation 1, which is unfortunate because her Constellation 2 could bring decent utility to this team. And let's see how this will go. Applying Electro, Chevreuse burst into the skill. So Bennet, catching particles with Shangling, going to Dori, using burst, and how much? 20,000 overloaded damage. Let's go. Let's use another skill. Unfortunately Shangling was overloaded, and last skill. No, we don't even need last skill. That was pretty fun and interesting team. And I went to try this team against Lego Hypostasis 2. I expected better result, but this team performed exactly like previous teams. Yes, because all of this flying, invulnerable phases, this boss can be very uncomfortable for some teams. But anyways, I've managed to beat Lego Hypostasis with this team in 97 seconds. Chevreuse. And a lot of you guys was asking for main DPS Chevreuse. One problem my Chevreuse is Constellation 0, and before her Constellation 4 it's quite hard to make her real main DPS. But her multipliers is still really good, so we can make damage per screenshot team anyway. And let's quickly look how I built her. For the weapon, of course, she will be using Staff of Coma. For artifacts, I gave her my best pieces from Crimson Witch and Gladiator. And now for the stats, we have 2000 attack, 103 elemental mastery, and 43 261 crit ratio. And both comps was suggested Vape and Melt. First we'll start with Vape Chevreuse. And this is my standard damage per screenshot team with Sucrose, Bennet and Mona. And now let's add the damage. So applying Pyro, swirling Pyro, using Sucrose burst, Mona's burst into the skill, going to Chevreuse using skill, not critting burst, 327,000 damage, nice. Our skill not critted, but right now I'm interested in how much our skill can do. And after a couple of unsuccessful attempts, we've got result. Alright, please crit this time, so let's go Bennet, Sucrose, Mona. So using Chevreuse, skill 140, burst 227, yes, and we're finishing with charge attack. And I was interested in how much damage we've done with skill, burst and bombs in total, and this was 602,000 damage. Yes, her multipliers are pretty good. And now let's go for the Melt variation. The team would be almost the same, Sucrose, Bennet, but instead of Mona we will be using Charlotte. And of course the same Chevreuse build. And let's add the damage. So applying Pyro, swirling, using Sucrose burst, Charlotte skill into the burst, shot 159, burst 338,000 damage. Pretty nice. And the total damage would be 612,000 damage. And difference is not that high because our bombs done less than previous. Cyno. It's all started with Cyno, and with Cyno it ends. One problem, I don't have Cyno, but I have Kitsin, and we can make Kitsin team that will fit Cyno too. And the main problem with suggested teams, no one was mentioning Xiangling, but Xiangling would be most crucial support in this team. Cyno's best artifact said Thundering Fury, and to trigger Thundering Fury passive, Cyno should trigger Overloaded Reaction by himself. And right now Xiangling the only character in the game that will allow Cyno to be Overloaded Reaction owner, and that's why she will be very crucial support for this team. And about Cyno's kit. Because of Cyno's Ascension passive, he is played with Elemental Mastery Sans, and his burst can increase Elemental Mastery too. And if you don't have his signature weapon, you can use Elemental Mastery weapons too. And we already said that Cyno should be owner of Overloaded Reactions, and because of a lot of Elemental Mastery and Thundering Fury, his Overloaded Reaction will do considerable damage. And to copy this part of Cyno's kit, I've gave my Kitsin Elemental Mastery Sans, and we will be using Elemental Mastery weapon. And right now my Kitsin had 352 Elemental Mastery, which can increase Overloaded damage by 239% and another 40% from Thundering Fury. Yes, for Kitsin this is bad idea, but this is how your Cyno would look. And I went to test just Overloaded damage, and this was 13,500, which is pretty nice. And now for the team, and the best Cyno team would probably look like this: Chevreuse, Bennet and Xiangling. But I cannot use my Bennet with Kitsin because of his Constellation 6 Pyro infusion. And unfortunately we cannot use second Electro character in this team, because this will overtake Xiangling's Pyro application and Thundering Fury will not proc. So we are downgrading this team by using Toma. And now let's add the damage. Starting with Kitsin skill to apply Electro, Chevreuse burst into skill, Toma burst skill, catching particles with Xiangling, Goba, going to Kitsin skill, one charge attack into the burst. And yes, we're triggering Thundering Fury. As you can see, we can spam our skill. Our Overloaded deals 13,000 damage, and that was decent result. And remember, if you will use this team with Cyno, Cyno will perform way better because he has direct Elemental Mastery scaling. And I've tried this team against Lego Hypostasis, and DPS wasn't that high, I'm not gonna lie, because using full Elemental Mastery on Overloaded Kitsin is quite bad idea. But this team was very comfortable to use. We have long buff up times, and we can stay with Kitsin on the field for a very long time. But even with all DPS problems, this team managed to beat Lego Hypostasis slightly under 90 seconds. Conclusion: First of all, thank you guys for all suggestions. Teams was very fun to use and I am even learned something new today. If your team doesn't made it to the video, don't worry. I love this idea and if this video will perform well, I will make another videos. What you're thinking about these teams, let me know in the comments, and thank you for the watching. Subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in my next video.